This is DRF Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, and we double dog dare you to pick the winner of the Friday DRF Race of the Day. Let's throw up the field for the feature race at Keeneland. Graded stakes action for fillies and mares going a mile and a 16th. It's the Double Dog Dare. $100,000 is the purse. Download free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. Access them, handicap along with us. A field of 7, 4 graded winners led by Ashland Grade 1 winner, Speech.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of a well-matched field, Dan. It's, sort of interesting to have Bonnie South and Speech back. They were, I guess a couple of good 3-year-old fillies, and they're older horses now. I guess they lead the field. I don't know. It'll just be interesting to see what happens. I didn't really feel like anybody had a huge edge in here.
And I really think it's going to be interesting to see what happens from a pace standpoint. We throw up the Timeform US Pace Projector. Now, the 3 Graceful Princess is going to be a long shot in here. She tried to make the lead in the turn back, the alarm 2-back, and she did, but Royal Flag ran her over. Bahan Girl is the lowest likely pace setter if Corey Lannery decides to hustle out of there. I guess Speech, fresh and stretching out, she'll get the jump on some of the other major contenders.
Yeah, I guess it'll be interesting to see how the pace goes. I mean, Bayesian Girl certainly has some speed. It's not like she's a blazer, Dan. Neither is Graceful Princess, for that matter. I wouldn't be surprised if Speech made the lead in here.
The number 1 is Royal Flag, making her first start of the year for trainer Chad Brown, and she closed out her 4-year-old campaign on a high note. Let's watch her win in the Grade 3. Turn back the alarm handicap. She saved ground early, came to the outside in the stretch. She's got some work to do, Mike, but she's going to collar these 2 horses in front of her. She'll hop back to her left lead once she gets to the front, and she keeps on going. She was a solid campaigner last year.
Yeah, I mean, she got a perfect trip in this race, closed down a couple of horses who aren't as good as many of the horses she'll be meeting in this spot, Dan. We'll see. I just wouldn't bet her at 5-2. I really like this horse early on. She came back off of a layoff last May and won an allowance race at Churchill. I didn't care for that performance all that much. And after that, it makes me wonder how good she is.
High Regard, the number 2, was graded stakes placed as a 2-year-old. It really hasn't panned out for High Regard, who probably her ceiling right now is in the high-level optional claiming ranks. She ran in the Royal Delta on her seasonal debut. Didn't break very well, but didn't do much running after that.
Yeah, just a flat performance off the layoff. She'll have to run. Not only does she have to run a lot better than that, Dan, she probably needs a career best to beat this field.
Graceful Princess finished a tired 5th behind Royal Flag in the video we just showed, the turn back, the alarm, and then they ran her in a 1-turn mile. She had the sloppy track excuse in the Go for Wand handicap. She just didn't run very well that day, and she's just still eligible for a non-winners at 2 other than.
I mean, she just doesn't look that competitive in this race. It's, to me, the most interesting thing about her is that she's entered here for her 5-year-old debut by Pletcher off of what is actually a pretty solid looking work line. So maybe she's just training really well and they want to take a shot.
Arnaud Delacour did a very nice job with the 4 RS2, nursed her off of an extremely long layoff to win 3 races in a row, including the Grade 3 Allaire DuPont. Now, let's watch the Royal Delta at Gulfstream. I thought this was a bad loss, Mike. I realized she made the first move into a quick pace. She's had trouble with her lead changes in her last few, and she just lets this big long shot come up the rail and beat her.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. I mean, I might have picked her in this race had she, run a little bit better in here. I just didn't see the excuse for her losing to a horse that I just don't like that much in Queen Nakia. I mean, her form is fine. I don't think she's in over her head by any stretch of the imagination in here. And she might be the 4th choice. I think all those things are positives. I just couldn't talk myself into her.
Bonnie South won the Fairgrounds Oaks last year and finished 2nd to the exceptional Swiss Skydiver in the Grade 1 Alabama. Now, she closed out her 3-year-old campaign in the Fall City. Bonnie South is probably at her best when you take her back and give her a chance to make one run. But the pace was so slow in the Fall City that she had to stay up close to the pace. She sprinted on home, but Envotant just had a tactical advantage. She ran quite well.
Yeah, that race, it's just, everything is working against her in a race like the Fall City where it's slow early and fast late because she wants to sit and make one run. No chance really to win there. I thought her Black Eyed Susan was, fine trying to rally from last, even though she was defeated as a big favorite in there. I mean, listen, she has an awful lot to prove, Dan. I actually felt like she was a pretty good 3-year-old, and I won't be surprised when she's even better at 4.
Speech got her big win at Keeneland over this distance in the Grade 1 Ashland. And then I thought she ran okay in the Kentucky Oaks. Talk about a tough spot against She Dares the Devil and Swiss Skydiver and Gamine. And she was really pinched back badly at the start of that race. The Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint, they took a shot. They turned her back. I was very surprised how close she was to that fast pace set by Gamine and Serengeti Empress, and she paid the price late. I think she's more effective at this distance.
Yeah, that's interesting, Dan. I don't know if I agree with that or not. I actually felt like it was a good idea for them to turn her back in the Breeders' Cup, and she did what she did there. I don't know. I guess I'm just not as big a fan of hers as it seems like a lot of other people are. I realize that she's got some talent. Her Ashland, to me, was just a race where it was basically between her and Venetian Harbor. And in that race, Venetian Harbor showed, just for the first time maybe, that she doesn't want to go that far. So I didn't give Speech a lot of credit for winning that race, even though it came back pretty fast. Listen, she's a short price on the morning line. I know that she can win. I know that she has some ability. I'm just not a big fan of hers.
Bajan Girl, the number 7, got very good at South Florida towards the end of last year. No match for a nice mare in Latruska, who's going to run in the Apple Blossom this weekend in the Rampart. Then we saw her in the Royal Delta last time out, and she was up close to that solid pace. I thought she ran okay. At 15-1, she's what's known as a curious pace play.
Yeah, she is, Dan. She's actually pretty good. I don't know if she's good enough to beat, Speech and Bonnie South, horses like that, if they show up with their best races here off the layoff. But she's pretty good, and she's going to be a great price in here.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Friday race of the day. I think if you get the 3-1 on Bonnie South, and she's the 3rd choice in this race, that's exceptional value, considering she might get a little bit more pace than she did last time out. I like Speech a little bit more than you. I think she'll get the jump on the main contenders turning for home, and it helps that she has the win at Keeneland.
I won't be surprised when Speech wins this race, Dan. I'll be honest with you. It's not a race that I'm really that interested in betting on, just because I couldn't really get away from the short prices, and I don't love the short prices either. I just want to see what happens for down the road, I guess.
5-4-1-6 for Mike, 6-1-5-4 for me. It's the Friday DRF race of the day, the Doubledogdare Stakes. Best of luck.